To say that I'm scared of what's happening is a gross understatement. Trouble of any sort is the last thing I want to get home to after a long day at work and a trip to the bar. Oh right, you probably have some stuff to read. Yeah, right. That was so weird. After a long, desperate run in search of a way out, the house calmed down for some reason. An exit was finally in sight. Waiting on the other side, however, is the Mr. Luke, the Mr. Right Luke. In spite of the danger Luke Wright posed at the moment, Ashton lowered his gun and assumed an imploring tone towards the man he hated. Amidst the tense air, a voice suddenly echoed in the foyer. There at the top of the grand staircase stood Hannah Wright with the ghost lady. Okay, let's read his profile. Lucille Mitchell Luke Wright. I can't speak today. Birthday August 2nd. He's a Leo. He's 31 years old. He's 173 centimeters. He's a president and CAO. He's British and he's an atheist. High school dropout. Privately tutored. He likes bread pudding, dogs, wine, and absinthe. Piano playing, daffodils, money, women, and power. Of course he does. A prostitute's son, really? Interesting. He spent his childhood roaming the streets begging or pickpocketing in order to avoid home. Home meant a too drunk mother and her equally drunk clients. Some of her would take to beating the child out of anger if he so much as looked at them wrong. That meant he was always in trouble in one form or another. Nothing was done to correct it until, in a sober moment, his mother found out about the abuse and promised to take better care of her son. Luke was happy for a while, but his mother's bad habits led to an early grave and left him orphaned until his biological father, a businessman with no legitimate heir, sought him out. Right, because he needed someone to take over the business. He was trained to inherit Wright's enterprise, but along the way got mixed up with illegal activities. That put the company in a bad spot after his assistant ran off with a large sum of dirty money. Bankruptcy would have been inevitable if he hadn't married Hannah. Alright, that was his profile. I only know one thing for Monday. Okay, so let's do this. I'm really nervous about what's gonna happen. Have I done a good job? Okay, we'll have to see. And when I see Hannah near prostrate, I can only feel dread. She twitches and seizes, body wound and collide tight before trashing, shuddering and shaking. Like a woman possessed, her mouth falls open and her eyes roll to the back of her head. It has the hallmark sign of a seizure. The symptoms are similar enough. And that knowledge, the fact that I know this, only makes me feel worse. Any anger I had caused by our disagreement on parting ways, no matter how temporary she claimed it to be, disappeared. The alcohol-induced daze that I felt was brushed aside as I ran to her. Jeez, I'm terribly sorry. I need to get into it. My tongue is getting twisted. This is the issue when you're you're switching, because I've been obviously speaking Swedish the whole day, and then we just switch into another language. It's weird at first, so please bear with me. I'm sorry. The alcohol-induced daze that I felt was brushed aside as I ran to help her. None of that mattered at the moment. Oh, This was that time when we could have opened the hatch or right in the kitchen. But to hold her close is all I can do while she trashes about. I know this is wrong, that I'm not supposed to hold her down, yet I do it out of instinct, reflex even. I'm terrified of hurting her, but I see no other way to keep Hannah from hurting herself. It takes a lot to keep myself from running off to get help when she needs me here. And it takes everything I have to keep myself intact. When she says my name, I realize that the seizures have stopped. But that doesn't make the dread go away.
Please!
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I am so sorry.
The sight of her tear-streaked face is enough to twist a knife in. It does not help that I'm as lost as she is right now, and all I can say is...
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
It takes a bit to go through the house with my inebriated self. That's even made worse by the fact that I had to carry a nearly unconscious person as well. I was about to give up too, up until Scrucken shows up to lighten the load. He quietly takes her from me without questioning and brings her up to the bedroom. And me? Well, I couldn't bring myself to follow. Not right now. Not while I'm drunk and rattled by what had transpired. It's a miracle I was able to help at all. So, here I am, sulking in a parlor chair with a glass of wine in hand. I can't even remember what particular vintage it is, and I practically did not care right now.
Because when you're already drunk and still have problems, even more alcohol should help.
Of course, the butler shows his now to peer and be unhelpful.
You know what actually solves all problems? Death. But it is not recommended.
Right, but I mean, you probably at least wouldn't be aware of whether or not it worked or if it helped, as far as we can tell. So, yeah, don't do that, people, please.
Alcohol isn't a true solution either.
It's worked well enough for me.
I like to believe that I get my best ideas while I'm fully hammered. Not everyone might agree, but they can't really do anything about it, can they? With a fuck ton of money comes great power, sometimes responsibility. And with that responsibility comes a lot of reasons to get drunk. Of course, I can just tell responsibility to sod off if I was feeling reckless. And Christ, I must be really drunk if I'm thinking in circles. I just need something to focus on, and I should be fine.
How is she? Is she alright?
If panic crept into my voice at the question, I don't let it show. It would be a show of weakness to be so frazzled, to show so much concern over a woman who is going to put me aside. People like him who work for me, I trust with business, but not with myself. Never with that. Only Hannah has come so close. Only she has truly seen the man beneath the facade. Only her actions can wound me so.
Sleeping. Aside from a few bumps and bruises, she seems to be fine. A maid is watching over her for now. It is best not to leave her alone. But, if I may ask, what happened? I was in the gardens when I heard screaming. Did you...
No, it wasn't me.
I'm quick to be on the defensive. I may be capable of a lot of horrible things, but I would never harm her, of all people, no matter how angry I might become. I would never lay a hand on her to hurt her.
I didn't do anything. I wouldn't do anything like that. I don't even have a reason to.
You don't consider her wanting to be a part as reason?
It isn't. Well, it is. I don't want to talk about it right now. But what happens was I got home. She was seasoned in the kitchens. Is she ill?
Not that kind of doctor. But I've already scheduled your physician for a house call tomorrow morning. We'll still have to monitor her as soon as she wakes up, and
Oh god, things are coming back to me. I need a drink.
really? You're still drinking?
Why, yes, it seems to be the bloody best time to be drinking. I'm allowed, aren't I? After all, I've just found my wife having a seizure, and I shouldn't give two shits about it. Not when she's about to leave me.
But I do, goodness, I do. A big generous gulp just makes it so that the taste of cherries, raspberries, and strawberries wash over my tongue, the thing too sweet considering its despectively earthy aroma. A Valens vineyard, seasoned red, isn't really something to scoff at. I've had many good memories with this particular drink. This particular bottle, in fact, was a gift. It serves the purpose Lady Blairnot had given it to me for, to forget. The knocked up lady? Right? All the same, whether I took this bottle or punnet nor it is just a means to an end, I will probably have to finish the whole bottle to get drunker than I already am.
But no, she doesn't need to be taken care of. If she wants her time apart, she'll have it.
It'll break my heart to just let her go, but she deserves this much, doesn't she? We both deserve this much.
She's had her uses.
She's done a lot for me in the 7 years we've been together. I pursued her at first for the money. It was supposed to be strictly business. There might have been a time too when I considered taking her out of the picture so that I can do with the money as I pleased. I had planned to manipulate her, and I feel horrible thinking about it. But along the way, I had changed, if only for her. Perhaps my father would scoff, tell me I've gone soft. Maybe I have. Doesn't matter. 7 long years. It had its up and downs, and it certainly hasn't been a perfect marriage. We had our fights. I mean, who doesn't? Who hasn't? But those small moments where we could just laugh and be our happy selves were always magical. They made all these years worth it, and I had seen many more years to come. So where did I go wrong? I've loved only 2 women in my life. Mother, dear bless her soul, and Hannah, who has been my sunshine for so long. Losing her, I fear that I might become more like my father. Had Damien Wright stayed with Mother or any of the other numerous women he's had a child with, would he have been less of an embittered shell of a man? Would having a darling love in his life made him a better person? Perhaps it is a bias in me to doubt so. I don't think I can ever see the old man in a favorable light.
I'm just surprised that you're not afraid. She might be leaving with delicate information.
Oh, she might know something. But if she hasn't done anything with the knowledge for this long, I don't think she would do anything now.
Exactly what is he up to?
If she had even an inkling of what I've done, what I'm capable of, she'll know it's not a good idea. Hannah's a smart woman.
Smart, kind, hardworking, generous, loyal. I can go on and wax poetic about her if I had any talent with the stuff.
Why don't you sit down and have a drink with me? Don't worry, it's not poisoned or anything.
Lonely? Oh, I suppose there's no harm.
With a shake of my head, I procure another glass and pour some of the red wine. Watching the red liquid is fascinating all on its own with my muddled brain that I barely noticed sloshing some of it and staining my suit. It will be an utter bugger to clean, so I'm glad that isn't my problem. Handing it over, I can't help but look up at the ceiling and let out a sigh. My eyes damp, glazed over glazed over, though I won't let it go further than that. Raising my own glass for toast, I clear my throat.
We drink to Do we really need a reason to? The world is messed up. War, terrorism, famine, poverty, loved ones and love lost. The world is a cesspool. Might as well be drunk if we're going to drown in it.
A bit less eloquent than your usual speeches, but zum Wohl.
A sip, a gulp, refill, rinse and repeat until the bottle of Velm has barely a fifth left. I must have drunk most of it because I barely see Skarkin take a sip after his first glass. It certainly feels that way. I don't even think I can stand up, let alone walk. I'm all legless. My mind just feels so funny and everything else is equally hilarious. Bloody hell, I think I can make out faces of a bald man on the wallpapers. With the butler also standing up, he looks like a skyscraper from where I'm seated.
Jesus Christ, I have Sasquatch as a butler.
I have a great alcohol tolerance to this. Seeing how I'm a giggling wreck right now is, I assume, really bad. If there is any sober part left to me, it'd probably shrivel up and die just thinking of the hangover that'll come in the morning. But I can't help but get distracted at the sight of moonlight peeking through the curtains, shiny and shimmery and absolutely splendid. Even if the night brought calm, it is the moon that always enamored me so. It is a second sun, but just as beautiful as my sunshine.
I want to go out and look at the moon. Mommy, I can't feel my legs.
Jeez, he's a wreck.
Mutter, I am not. Don't tell me I have to carry you upstairs to bed.
You know, Hana, she told that photo man that I was a trying husband. I can't even. The nerve of them, right? He goes and takes her out shopping, and they give me lip service in return. I bet they were talking shite while they were in the store spending my money. Am I a trying husband, Joe?
I wouldn't know. You're not my husband, are you? But you are a trying Dummkopf when you are this drunk.
I didn't even do nothing. I did my best to behave decent. Whiskey and mint are just good friends, that's all. And that Rochelle woman's baby isn't mine.
Really?
I swear, I wouldn't. I couldn't love any other woman than Hana. Hana must be so tired. I'm a brat, aren't I? She said as such.
I mean, I wasn't sure if I could believe him when he told Rebecca. But, yeah. I guess it's true then. That's interesting, at least. I mean, he's still a pissy person. No doubt about it, but, you know.
I don't want Hana to leave me, Joe. Oh, God, she's the love of my life, you know? I'm a shy human being without her. I should... Flowers. Lots and lots of flowers. All of the flowers. Enough to make the Queen's Gardens look like a fucking dumpster fire in comparison.
All well and good. But you are not achieving any of that while you are lying on the carpet. Now, if you can lift your skinny ass and work with me. 1, 2, 3.
But I don't want to go to bed. The moon is so pretty tonight.
I should just let you sleep on the ground, Bratwurst.
And so we did.
Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day. Come on, Mommy, wake up. I want to be in that play. Mommy, wake up. You promised that you'd help me practice my lines today. The auditions are tomorrow, so I have to practice.
Did she overdose?
To the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools. The way to Dusty. Mommy, are you all...
I think she overdosed. It sucks. Okay, just have to experience that. Well, no one should. Luke left Hana in Johan's care after the incident at the kitchen. Pissed off at the recent events and a possible divorce looming at the horizon, he decided the rest of his day... He dedicated the rest of his day to getting hammered, stopping only after his butler intervened. Yeah. I shook back a scream and woke up in a cold sweat. With my heart pounding in my ears, it takes a while to remember where I am. In the dark and cold of the room, one can't fault me for feeling ill at ease. It isn't as bright as the penthouse, and the renovations did little to change how old it feels. We've been here for less than a week. It will take a bit more time to adjust. It's hard to feel cozy though when I'm bloody freezing. Nudging the lump of fabric next to me, I sigh.
It's cold. Don't hog the sheets, Hana.
Oh jeez, it's not Hana with you, dude. Great. She always did this though. It hardly bothers me. Growing up, I was lucky to have something to use as a mattress. I'm not the one who grew up accustomed to Egyptian cotton with a thread count of 800. Besides, the warmth that Hana exuded on her own is usually enough to keep me sleeping through the night. The temperature tonight must be something else with how chilly it is right now. I must be considerate. After all, the poor dear is ill. Though I loathe to think about what had just transpired.
Don't make me pull those sheets off you. That blanket is large enough to cover an elephant. You'll need to share.
It takes a while.
What was that, honey? Apologies. I'm just in the loo, so if you can give me a moment.
There's no sign that they'll be moving where they lie. With care, I go for a knife hidden under the side of my bed. It would be foolish of me to instigate anything while I'm unarmed, after all. To pull back the covers would be more difficult of an affair, because reaching out to uncover who was underneath, I have to prepare for anything and assume the worst. If I so much as see the nozzle of a gun, there's going to be a murder tonight. I know they say not to bring a knife to a gunfight, but I think I can sink a blade in his liver faster than he can point and aim. I see the rise and fall of the sheets, though it could easily be mistaken as the fault of the breeze. I hear their breathing. A great sense of foreboding comes over me, making me hesitate with my plan. I should just get Hana and myself out of here, not look back and let security handle it. That's what they're there for, after all. Or maybe I should just man up. There's no way I'm risking the chance that inaction will put Hana in danger. That was the worst that could happen, right? I have no reason to be afraid. There's no bogeyman under the bed, no monster in my closet. If anything, these things should be afraid of me, right? I grab a fistful of sheets and throw them aside. Jeez. Great. Nothing. Nothing but a bunch of pillows stare back at me. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. You're so mad. You're so mad, dude. Okay. Oh. What a skip. Luke woke up in the middle of the night with a scream and in cold sweat. Finding comfort in the warm body next to his, he tried to get back to sleep and forgot the images playing in his mind until Hana called out from the loo. What a skip to his story. Maybe his story's shorter. Must be my imagination. I'd rather not think I'm going mad. It could very well be the stress getting to me. All this drama with Hana. I've been doing well all these years, all things considered. I guess I do have a breaking point. But still, the world goes on even if one cannot, and I must go along with it. I suppose a day off or two tomorrow wouldn't hurt. Rest aside from a few hours of sleep will be welcome. It will be more than welcome. But I can't shake off the unease. I dare say that I feel afraid, irrationally so, that something would come creeping and crawling from under the bed, and even as I lay back down and close my eyes,